anything?
No, we're
Okay. No.
to get some work done.
Yeah. So let's break down what actual changes he did to the front of this thing to make it a little different than a factory Jeep Gladiator. Big thing that he went in and changed was the aluminum factory knuckles. He went to a cast steel reed knuckle, went to a 1-ton style steering with a PSC Hydro Assist. So he's not running he's still running a standard gearbox, but it's basically attached to a ram that has a ram assist. So it uses hydraulic fluid to actually push the steering. Makes it a lot easier to run something like a 37 or a 40. The real big benefit is once you get into a rock and you actually start to bind yourself up, it doesn't, what we do, prey steering. So you get on the gas and you kind of try to hold it as straight as possible, but once it turns, it turns. So this, you can kind of hold it steady. He went ahead and threw in a set of RCV axles in this thing. And so he really did his best to make it a bulletproof 44 front without going to a 1-ton style and changing even more stuff.
How much would you say on a setup like this might cost, just for if someone just wants a suspension setup like this on a Jeep?
Yeah, so quick breakdown on the suspension itself. This kit retails without sway bars, without bump stops, for about $8,600. Say you're gonna add another $2,500 in sway bars and bump stops, so say we'll be easy and put it at the 10K number. Usually on a kit like this, you're 30 hours labor, so that's gonna be another 4 or 5 grand. So as far as just suspension, he's probably in the 15K, maybe 16K range. The steering assist kit on this is about $3,600, so say another 5 grand by the time it's installed. So I'd say when you're looking at just the underside of this Jeep, not including wheels and tires, just suspensions, changes to the axles, he's probably somewhere in the 25 to 30K mark on just what's under it. You know, he could be another 5-6 grand in wheels and tires, and all the other little kind of add-ons. Everything at the end of the day is going to depend on what you want. The number one reason that Jeeps are hated on more than any other vehicle besides them being unreliable is people think they ride like crap. Yes, they can ride like crap, but the big downside you see out of people is they go, hey, I want a $1,200 rough country installed lift kit and I don't want to change anything else. Well, if you kind of cheap everything out, they're always going to ride bad. This is obviously something costing 10, 12x of what something like that would cost, but you're really paying for what you get for and then paying for engineering. These brands test and test and test to make these things not necessarily one-off vehicles, but giving somebody function over a form.
Let's move to the middle of the vehicle. You've got these right here. Explain to us what these are. I know these are nice. They can handle my weight and helps you get on top. What do you think? Do you like them? Are you a fan, yay or nay?
I'm a big boy. I'm not stepping on my door hinges or the door will not open. So for me personally, 6'4", we're gonna get up there and we're gonna grab on it. For anybody, we'll say reasonably sized, it definitely is a great thing for the money. You just kind of got to be careful when you're first putting them on to make sure they go in right.
Perfect, perfect. All right. Max is going to show us what's going on the inside. This is relatively clean. Some Jeep guys go crazy with the inside, dude.
So for the most part, this is going to be the 24 and up setup. So it is a relatively new Jeep. You get the new infotainment. A lot of this stuff's all going to be about the same Jeep to Jeep. And then what he did is he added some molly panels and a ton of different lighting accessories. Kind of cool thing that me and even Tim just noticed is we were filming some stuff, cut off the Jeep, cut up on a couple lights just to film some rollers and stuff like that. Maybe 5-10 minutes went by, the lights automatically cut off. So the cool thing about these S-Pods is they have a lot of safety features in them that'll actually cut them off once the voltage starts to get too low. And then he has one of the Wolf Box rear view mirror. So he has 3 different, he'll have a front facing camera, one kind of a bird's eye view camera, and then he'll have a reverse camera too.
Let's see if we can turn this thing.
That's as easy as turning on the Jeep.
I'm a big fan of this, man. This is so clean.
It is great for the money.
So as you see, 3 angles here. He probably has even more cameras because I know he has a reverse. Throw it in reverse.
Yeah, he'll have a factory backup camera. He'll obviously have all these cameras. Camera he could add. And then he's got a ton of different switch panels from S-Pod to aux beam to...
Also recording, guys.
Yeah.
Also
so
dash cam.
He's also cool as a dash cam option. I'm a big fan of these. The biggest downside is you build out one of these vehicles, you want to overland it. We get our campsite. All right, let's back in.
Yeah.
Now we can't see anything.
Can't see nothing, especially guys like because you got all kind of stuff in the back.
So this kind of helps.
I'll turn these on, show you guys. Look how bright that is. Look, it's already turning on. It's crazy. I know you guys can't feel these, and sure, a lot of you guys might not want to spend the money on something like this. If you feel it, it's so premium. If you feel it,
and that's one big thing I get asked a lot is like, what's the difference between a $250 switch panel and something like a $900 S-Pod switch panel? It's going to be a multi-function switch, so you can really set them up for whatever you intend to use them for. So you'll have a single click on the option for your light to come on and off. You can also dim them. You can also run them as a chase light where they flash. You can have them as like an SOS pattern. It's really endless, but it's cool because it's not going to be just your single on, single off function. There will be a ton more options, and you can use them for turning on a motor, running fans, really doing anything with them. One thing we see out of a lot of our customers is they go, oh, I could do anything on my Jeep. I just don't like wiring. Well. Yep. You pay a little bit more for something like this, but it really makes it as simple as possible. They put in all the relays, they do all the presets in them. They really design them for you. All you are as an end customer, if you want to wire in a set of lights, you take your light, you run your pigtail. If it has a plug, you chop it off. You have a positive and a negative. Positive, negative, screw it down, it's done. It's really taking out the guesswork and making it to where anybody could be a wiring guru.
Perfect.
So we'll give you a quick little rundown of his setup, kind of overland gear in the rear. Couple cool things that I always like is super easy to access air. So you'll have your pop in your air, you can fill up any tires. He has that set up on both sides. He also on the back has a secondary setup for his CB radio. He's running a Wii Boost on the top. If you've never heard of Wii Boost, basically all it does is add to your internet connection, so it just gives you a little bit stronger of an antenna to your phone. As far as the rear, he's running a high lift jack, a ton of Rotopacks accessories. His actual rack itself is a Go Rhino. He's running an Iron Man fridge with their slider, with a ton of other cool little options added here and there.
I think he's got his battery in the back
so he is running a battery, secondary battery back there with all the stuff he's running. It definitely doesn't hurt. That's actually one of his switch panels right there. He's running a air compressor, the actual,
check that out, guys.
Yeah, shout out to Artec for that. They do some super sweet kind of, they sell them as builder parts, but they can be used as anything. Cool thing with that, is it necessarily you need a whole oil change kit in the back of your Jeep? Probably not. Is it great to have some extra fluids to top off if you ever blow line, something like that? It's definitely amazing to have. I'm not proud of the amount of times I had to put coolant in my Jeep on the way to work or on the way to the trail. So
right.
It's trying to Go Rhino actual system here. That's where that wolf box camera is going to come in at. He's running a ton of different kind of chase lights, reverse lights. He's going to run a body armor rear bumper with their lights. So typically at a Wrangler, say maybe a foot behind it, this will be your back. So you don't have anything. The biggest thing on like something like this.
Oh, you're right.
So we're coming down a trail. We're really tight on a tree right here. Your slider's going to keep it off your body. It's going to kick to your tire. Tire will get around it. Boom, you lose your bed.
Yep.
So you run something like this. Is it going to be an end-all solution? No. Is it going to stop and kind of help save you every once in a while? 100%. Yeah. He's running camping scene lights from Front Runner, Tow Pack rooftop tent. Not initially serve that brand, but
looks nice.
Seems like definitely a nice aluminum shelled setup. He's got a ton of different Rotopacks, kind of mounts for gas, water. Not sure why this one's for diesel, but he kind of clicked every option, so why not? Yeah. For air again, and then really just a ton of little cool features.
I like how he has the air on both sides access.
Yeah, he has one on every corner.
Dude, the diesel might just be just for spare diesel, honestly. Like he might have a generator that's diesel.
Yeah, so that's a really big thing, especially now, is diesel heaters. It is truthfully amazing what you can get out of a diesel heater these days. We built a lot of Sprinter vans that you may have seen it on our pages, and they're able to get multiple days use out of just a couple gallons of diesel.
This is where I get a little bit jealous because the suspension on this thing, this guy was not playing around. He's got King 2.5s, he's got bump stops.
Yeah, he's running an anti-rock sway bar in the front, Terraflex sway bar in the rear. They just came out with these within the last year or two for the Gladiators, and anti-rock is kind of always known as the industry standard, but Terraflex definitely does their way of stepping up and kind of coming out with their own version of the same product with their little kind of added details to it.
The fact that they put the bump stop in the rear and went into the frame with it, that's no joke.
In the rock bouncer and rock crawler scene, it's It's way more used than your kind of common Jeep guy, but people forget how much a bump stop will save you and your shocks. We've all had that time where, oh, we didn't think that rock was that big, or that ledge, we didn't think it was gonna hit that hard. Bump stops are one of those truly forgiving things for both you and your vehicle.
Breaking your vehicle out there is the worst thing that can happen. So to have something that can reassure it, you know, what's the value in it to you? He's got air horns in the back, which is good to have too, you know? Just
We live in Atlanta, so sometimes you need them.
He's got all the other basic stuff too. He's got the snorkels. He's got all the lights you can imagine.
Infinite amount of lights.
Yeah.
KC, Gravity, their system.
Oh, dude, he's got
some more
light
moto
down
pods.
here. I couldn't figure out how to turn this one on for you guys, but he's got.
The knuckle lights are super popular these days because it really shows you what you need to see.
It's almost like this guy's sponsor or something,
Yeah,
dude. He's
one
like,
quick thing that a lot of it's kind of like an industry standard and most people know, but if you're looking at these and you're like, man, those fenders look a lot better than the factory ones. What they do is it's called a Quake LED is the brand. What they do is they take the factory fender that's usually about this big, they completely chop it there, chop the inside of them, and then they add the LEDs. So it gives you that highline fender look while still running a factory flare.
Didn't realize that. I was like, something's a little bit different about these fenders.
Exactly, because
told me
the
that.
factory Jeep fenders are honestly super ugly and just kind of bulky, where this gives you that more kind of highline off-road look.
Push that down for me. Yeah. Completely stock.
Yeah. He's got the setup for the snorkel. He went with the yellow top battery, so that'll definitely give him some added benefits.
If you guys want a good battery, Optima, guys, Optima batteries are the way to go. I got one in my truck. He's got all the fuses, everything you need to make sure there's no electrical issues, especially when you're running lights like this. Guys, you do not want to play around with electrical. Got an S-Pod setup over here.
Yeah, so that's what we call your brain.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yellow and red.
So when I was telling you earlier, this is what makes wiring simple. This will be your basically brain module. Each one of these is going to have a negative and a positive. You're running that straight to here. All the fuses, relays, everything is going to be built into the brain itself. And then you'll run Ethernet
cable.
That'll go through your cab and run your actual.
Dude, I didn't even realize that
unit.
until you said that's the Ethernet cable, guys. This is done right, and it's gonna help, guys. It's gonna help resell down the road. But I mean, main thing is it's gonna be safety, right? Like that's the key.
Yeah, if you know what you're looking for, you can really see what.
Yeah, this is
the meticulous, all the wiring loom, everything is perfectly zip tied where it needs to be. It's not just a rat's nest of wiring.
We need to shout out the company who did the wiring.
Dream Auto Lighting has done the large majority of the work on this Jeep, so shout out to them for a really clean job.
Yep. Also, guys, he's got a Starlink setup. If you guys have not tried anything with the Starlinks, I was out in California, down in Johnson Valley down there, and I'm telling you, we had no signal, no phone, no nothing. Hanging out with the boys that had the Starlink setup, that changed everything. And I'm being honest with you, you can upload to TikTok while you're out there using Starlink. It's incredible.
This is what 200 gig can get you in 2026. What would you change? Let us know down in the comments and look out more for something else.